Recently, one of my students asked me this question, that he has certain trouble on focusing on studying, and that he gets distracted sometimes. And in this video, I'm just going to explain how I do it personally, and I'll give some general tips as well. Let's get to it. So, how to focus when you're studying, working, doing whatever is important. And my personal experience, I do lecturing, so I have to prepare lecturing slides, and it can be boring, and I have to study as a university student, and I've studied a lot for my CMA exams as well. So there you go. And focus is basically your ability to keep attention on one thing, and being distracted simply means your attention is diverted to something else, right? So we just want to keep our attention on the thing that we are doing so we can be done with it, and it will add some value to our life. That's why we want to focus. That's what happens when you get distracted, right? How to focus? First of all, instead of trying to focus your attention with so much willpower, just eliminate the distractions. Everything that take your attention away, remove them. It could be your phone. Whenever you are actually doing something important, take your phone away. Usually, I throw it in my bed and keep it on silent mode, so it's not annoying me, right? And another thing could be, if you are into reading novels, if you are into reading books, keeping some other book on your desk in your visible area can distract you. Anything else, it could be your laptop, it could be your pet even, right? When you're trying to focus on something, eliminate the distractions. Everything that is not what you are doing is a distraction if you want to focus on what you're doing, right? Simple. So out of sight, out of mind. The next thing is, make it convenient. Now that you are rid of the distractions, now you have to improve and enhance your studying area, right? Gather everything you need, your notebooks, your past papers. If you have to stand up and go to find something in the middle of studying, it's going to break your attention, right? Simple. You have to stay in this state of flow. For that to happen, you need everything that you need around you. And that includes your water bottle, because if you are getting thirsty every time and you have to get up and go to your kitchen or somewhere, it's not going to work, buddy. So keep everything around you, right? Next thing is, make it clear, right? I don't know if I made a video about this earlier, but simply you have to apply this SMART concept when you're setting your whatever you're going to do. So it's so clear that you are not lost. Let's say, for an example, you are like, I'm going to study economics in the evening, and you're not really sure where to start. You're not really sure how long you're going to do it. You're not really sure what you are going to do and everything, so it's a problem. Instead of that, here's an example. I will make a short note for the topic demand equation of economics subject. See, that's already so specific. At 5 p.m., you're specific with the time. Tomorrow, after my class, it's getting even more specific. And practice 5 MCQ questions. See, you can measure like how well you studied it, right? You can measure the 5 questions, how you perform. After that, within an hour. So there's another time restraint. When you put these restraints and specifics, you know exactly what to do, that you are not distracted by wondering what to do, right? Let's say you don't have this much specifics. You might like sit down to study. Now you have all your prepared stuff, but you don't know where to start studying, so it will be overwhelming. You will get stressed out and you will just stand up and leave. We don't want that to happen, right? So I hope that's clear. Next one, as much as important and very specific that you make this, it should be fun as well. Now, it will not feel as fun as listening to a song or watching a movie or playing a video game, but if you try, you can make it fun. For an example, when it comes to lecture slides, I don't treat it like this very academic boring thing, right? I use memes, I use fun examples, I watch videos to educate myself while I'm making lecture slides. So try your own things, right? When it comes to studying, I use some of the AI tools, and it's fun, right? You have to find your way of having fun with it. For you to have fun, you look at this graph. um, this axis is, the y-axis is challenge level and the x-axis is skill level, right? So the simple idea is, if it's too challenging and you don't have enough skill for it, let's say it's a lesson that you find really hard, and you don't have the capacity to understand it, it's going to be really stressful. Let's say it's a really easy lesson and you know a lot about it. When you are going to study it, you will be really bored, right? You don't want to get stressed or you don't want to be bored, because those are going to distract you from doing the work. So for you to focus really properly, it should be challenging and kind of within your skill range at the same time, right? Here are some examples. If you don't do something really difficult, like studying an entire lesson in 1 hour, it might be difficult and it might not be practical. Let's say you are going to study 1 page in 2 hours. It might be practical, but it might not be that challenging, so you will get bored really fast, right? So when you get bored, you get distracted. When you get stressed, you get distracted. So do something in between. The thing is, you have to kind of give yourself some time to figure this out. For that, let's get to the next step, right? The simple idea is, it should be kind of easy and kind of challenging, like 5 to 6 pages in 1 hour. The final one, practical problems. Now, I explain the steps in the sense of focusing. Now I'll present to you some frequently asked questions of my students, right? Some people ask, how long should I do it, right? What's the healthy amount of time to spend on one task? The thing is, there's no specific thing. And if you're really starting out, start with 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever that you feel comfortable. Or give it a try, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If you are really starting out, your attention span might not be at its best level, so try your best and call it a day, right? But the thing is, every day try to spend more time in one sitting to study. Let's say you studied 5 minutes today, try for 6 to 7 minutes tomorrow, 6, 7, and 8 minutes the day after. And over time, try to increase it up to 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, right? For me personally, I would spend 45 to 50 minutes in one sitting, and then I'll take a break, 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm back. And that's called Pomodoro technique, right? You set a certain amount of time to study, and then you take a small time as the break, and then you come back to studying, break, study, break, right? I don't do multiple times. It's most likely 2 to 3 times at maximum, right? I only study like 2 to 3 hours a day maximum, mostly 1 hour. So yeah, not the most studious person. And some people say they go to classes, they go to school, they go to work, and they come home and they don't have the energy to study. One thing is, when it comes to me personally, I don't really find it that enjoyable or practical for me to study at night, because I'm not used to it. I'm more creative at night, but I'm not really studious at night. So I spend nights making music, because I can really focus on that, because I'm creative at that time, but I'm not really studious at that time. But in the morning, early morning, if I wake up, I can spend 1 hour studying before I start the rest of my day, before I go to school, or before I went to school, before I went to classes, and before I go to university lectures, right? And try to find time slots during the day as well. If you don't have the time or the energy, you really have to consider your priorities, because you have to focus on studying if it's really important to you. Otherwise, find another path, right? So yeah, that's about it. And the final one is, if you get distracted, like you don't have any distractions in the visible area, but you get distracted by your own thought, right? For an example, there's this song that you're currently listening to over and over again, and you're trying to study or practice a past paper, and in your head you are like singing, the melody is playing, and we're gonna give you like, so it's and you start humming and you're dancing, and just you're not studying anymore, right? You don't want that to happen. One thing is, this happens a lot when you are repeating these overstimulating things in your head. So don't do that if you want to focus. The thing is, your ability to focus in a certain time also depends on what you do in the other times. So if you spend a lot of time playing video games, your brain is overstimulated. If you spend a lot of time doom scrolling, your brain is overstimulated. If you spend a lot of time binge watching a TV show, your brain is automatically on that. So the first thing in the day, try to do studying, so your brain is still fresh, right? Rather than at the end of the day. But if your thing is studying at the end of the day, let your brain have some rest and refresh before you start studying. For you to do that, you can just stay at one point. For me personally, what I do is I stare at the wall like for 30 to 60 seconds before I study. I don't do that always, honestly, but I've heard it work for many people, so I'm suggesting it. Try to stay at one point in the wall, and it might work because your brain is now actually focusing on something, and it kind of warms up your brain to be able to focus on one task that is not that stimulating. And when you get to study, you will study better, you will focus better. And also, whether you study or not, it's healthy if you spend some time during the day being bored. Nowadays humans don't get to be that bored, but being bored is really important. If you are riding a bus or driving the car or taking a walk outside, we spend a lot of time with headphones. I do that as well. But try to take some time off headphones, off the phone. Just yourself, be with yourself, be bored, look at the nature, look at the birds, look at the sun, and try to get that natural stimulation instead of these artificial stimulations, right? Because that's really important if you want to have a healthy amount of focus when you actually get into studying. So simply to put it, touch some grass. And yeah, that's all I can say about focus. I'm not the best at focusing, but I actually get my stuff done, and everything I do is in here. I hope it helped you out. Share it with a friend if you found it useful. I made a video in a long time. I hope I will make more videos. So many stuff to do. Bye bye. Good luck with your studies.